Welcome to Flight Deck School of Supernatural Ministry. We are about ready to get launched. Launched into the arms of the Father. Sit back, buckle up, and take a ride.
So how this class has blessed me. Those are the two things we were sharing, right?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I feel like I was thinking about this. I feel like what I receive at my home church is kind of like my meat and potatoes is like the staples. That if that's all I get, I would still be healthy. But I look at this class in this opportunity as kind of maybe the restaurant, going and trying some of the foods you don't normally get at home. And maybe it's Italian or, different dishes. And it just sort of expands your taste buds. And that's what I feel like this class has done for me. I mean, I love my home church. I love some of the things I've already been active in and doing. But I really have enjoyed being exposed to more ministry, more ways of doing ministry, more expressions. And it's been good for me because I tend to be the kind of person that I get used to my little box. I get used to what I feel like I'm good at, and I just stick with that. And I think, well, that's my gifting, is this right here. But I like the way that you really challenged us, especially in the way of giving words of knowledge and just really trying to tap in to hear what Holy Spirit is saying, even those small promptings, and then stepping out and acting on that and just saying something or taking those baby steps, as I call it, because I feel like this has really pushed me more to do that and to stretch outside of my comfort zone. So and the other thing is confirmation. There were some things, like one was the 7 mountain, when the woman talked about the 7 mountain mandate, and she listed some, I think Lance Wallnow and Johnny Enlow, but I appreciated that because I've heard a lot about that as well. And that's not something, I mean, I've heard it from some sources, but that's not something that's really been, promoted in my local church. So it was kind of good to hear other Christians confirming things I'm already hearing about. So I appreciated that too.
Sweet, that is so awesome. I love how you said about the restaurant. Like, that is so cool of an analogy. Because Jesus said that he told the disciples that I eat meat you know not of in John 4. And then he says, my food is to do the will of the Father. And yeah, so we're learning all different ways of how to do the will of the Father. Yeah, and I love the restaurant style. Come on. So do you have a testimony about like something about your life?
I do. So I was raised in a Christian home, and I met a Christian man, and we got married, raised our kids in church, I homeschooled. So I was doing all the Christian things. And then 15 years ago last week, my husband left, and I had 16-year-old, 14-year-old, 10-year-old, 12-year-old, and 10-year-old. And so that was devastating, to say the least, for all of us. But that really propelled me into a place of prayer and intimacy with the Lord like I had never had before in my life. So, I mean, I even look back now and I think because I know I am an intercessor. I know that's a big part of who I am now. And that's what I spend a lot of time doing. And so it was kind of birthed there, I would have to say. And I don't regret either. I don't regret praying and believing for restoration of our marriage, because I believe that's what the Lord's will. I know that's what the Lord's will was. That did not happen. We got divorced 3 years later. But I just thank the Lord. He put people to walk alongside us. He helped. I mean, all 4 of my children are serving the Lord. In fact, one of my sons is in YWAM. He's a YWAM missionary. I'm so thankful to the Lord, how he walked through that with us and brought us through. And yeah, so that's that. He works things together for good. And it's often through the crushing, that you're kind of find your purpose somewhat, but I just thank the Lord, his blessing, his provision, bringing us through, helping us, healing us emotionally. And so I give him all the glory.
Sweet, that is awesome.